All right, some questions and questionable moves from our region's executive branches topping our list in politics this Monday. First up, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. He and family leaving Little Italy behind and heading overseas to visit the real thing. His honor leaves Friday for what's scheduled to be a 10-day trip to Rome, Naples, and Venice, but the timing is prompting a couple questions. First off, it could come just as an MTA strike begins, and if so, the mayor is prepared, let's be clear, to cancel the vacation and alter the plans. Maybe. And two, the 10-day trip is being reported as the longest vacation by any Big Apple mayor in recent memory, let alone one this early on. Now, de Blasio is getting a little help from one of Rudy Giuliani's former spokespeople. Christie Nicholas says the time away shouldn't be an issue since, quote, if the press is going with him, it's really not a vacation. Dominic, Rudy worked through the holidays, right? And Bloomberg, for all of his, I'll go where I'm going, I'm not telling you where I'm going, he never took a week off at a time.
No.
He's this early in the process, and he wants a week and a half. People should take vacation, I get it, but I'm a little surprised. It doesn't feel right, does it?
Well, Mayor is definitely not feeling right. Mayor de Blasio feels he's going to do things differently. So he ought to pray that nothing happens while he was away. Mayor Dinkins was in Japan at the first World Trade Center bombing, but that was a business mission on behalf of the city. And Mayor Bloomberg was in, I think, Bermuda at one time at a hurricane. So if there is a strike or something happens, it can badly reflect
Don't
this
forget,
mayor.
I remember Christie down in
3.5 years
Disney
away
World.
from his next election. Keep that in mind, too. It's 3.5 years away.
This is ridiculous.
You don't need a bad headline.
No, we're going to hear the same thing when Obama goes to Martha's Vineyard or wherever he's going. It's ridiculous. These are mobile units. You are a mobile
That's true.
government.
All right,
It's
true.
ridiculous.
I want to get to a few
He's got
things.
kids. He needs to go on vacation.
Darn. We often stop and marvel at how bizarre election systems can be, including New York State. Turns out Governor Cuomo, he could get a lesson on that dysfunction come the state primaries on September 9th. Now, follow me on this one. Cuomo expected to get a primary challenge from Fordham Law professor Zephyr Teachout. I don't even know why we keep saying her name. Submitted 4 times the number of petitions that she needed to get on the ballot. Now, nobody expects Teachout to beat Cuomo, let alone get 3% here. But it turns out on New York, the primaries for governor and lieutenant governor are not tied together. And with some questions about the positions and preparedness of Cuomo's pick for LG, that's lieutenant governor, former Buffalo Congresswoman Kathy Hochul, there are growing worries here that Teachout's number 2, a professor we never heard before, maybe you did, Jeannie, Tim Wu, Columbia professor, could actually beat Hochul, forcing Cuomo to run on a hybrid ticket with a Cuomo critic as the Democrat lieutenant's gubernatorial nominee. Now, my point of this is all different, which is, again, shouldn't a governor be able to pick his or her lieutenant governor? And I say that because, God forbid, something happens to the governor. You voted for that person and that person's political ideologies. If you got, let's say, a conservative governor and some liberal lieutenant governor, they didn't vote for the liberal lieutenant governor to be in charge. It just doesn't seem to represent, Andrew, the political will.
It's stupid. It's just stupid.
It's not so smart.
When the country was founded, we first did that with our president and vice president. I think it was Adams and Jefferson. Whoever came in second was the vice president. So you had one guy from one party with a vice president from a different party. It makes no sense whatsoever. And New York State,
That's why they had food tasters
it's
too,
even
yeah.
sillier in New York or New Jersey, because when the governor leaves the state, the lieutenant governor serves as the acting governor. You could theoretically have an acting governor from a different
That's
perspective.
never gonna happen.
I don't think it ever
never,
would.
Ever gonna
but it's
happen.
just stupid.
It could happen, which
It's
is
not going to
stupid.
happen. The governor sends a message, this is my person running the ticket with me, to the party faithful, and they all vote for that person. It's never going to happen in recent memory.
Although Professor Wu is a very smart guy. I would just say that. And I'm sure Kathy Hochul is too.
You'll still get your Christmas card now. Okay, finally, Chris Christie, since we talk about him every segment, well, he is talking gay marriage this weekend, and you be the judge where his comments, whether they're smart positioning for that presidential primary crowd here, or will make him less of the guy who makes his name, popular to those who may even cross party lines here in a general. When he was asked about same-sex marriage at the National Governors Association this weekend, he could have taken a pass, but he decided to take it, saying gay marriage, settled law in New Jersey, but he did not stop there. Christie encouraged Republicans in other parts of the country to keep up the fight against gay marriage, saying the country will resolve this over a period of time. But do I think it's resolved now, he was asked? No. And he went on to say it should be done state by state. Not radical, but yet he didn't need to go there. And I thought this is yet another opportunity where you don't need to throw the red meat out at every opportunity to the base. Leave yourself a little wiggle room here on an issue that Republicans are finding in different states. The constituencies aren't necessarily upset if you support gay marriage, if you have a personal story to lean on or whatever else. I just don't know why you need to go there. On this
Well, I think it's the same answer about the primaries, but the interesting thing about this is we see a movement in the Republican Party in terms of support for gay marriage. So that's one thing I found interesting about him, as you mentioned, going there.
Yep. At the end of the day here, it'll be interesting by 2016 if Republicans want to stay away from gay marriage as an issue, or they think that this is one of those bread and butter things like guns that they're going to run to every time.
I think you're going to see it a block in the South and in the Southwest, where Republicans continue to press for gay marriage bans and that sort of thing.
But it makes it complicated in the national race here.
It does. It does. I've got a new nickname for Christie. He's a pander bear. He's just pandering on every. He's a pander bear.
Hopefully we did not work on that so long. All right, coming up next, we will head to the Capitol where Democrats say despite GOP opposition, they have to keep pushing forward.